Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. In this video, I will explain about what are keywords used in exception handling in core Java. Finally block multiple choice question. Can you tell me one situation where the final block don't be executed? For try catch blocks, curly braces are mandatory or not. Final versus finally versus finalize. How to use bitwise are also called vertical bar or pipe in catch blocks. See, this is the pipe symbols. So let's get started. It is not a sketch video. It is continuation video of exception handling playlist. This playlist link I will provide in description of this video. So post question what are keywords used in exception handling in core Java. Copy this one. Control C. I'm pasting in Notepad. So what are keywords used in exception handling in core Java? So one is try, D is catch, C finally, D throw, E throws. Here what are keywords used in exception handling in core Java? Try, catch, finally, throws. So next move to second question. Finally block, multi-choice question. Control C, Control V. So this code we have developed in previous video. As of now, I'm commenting this one. Star, try. In try, I am returning one value 90, semicolon. After that, I am using finally block. Return 78, semicolon. Here, change method return type to int. So do one thing, cut control X, create one method, private static integer, suppose get value method, paste inside this. So this method ID, right? This is static method. So call with class name. Here it is a app test class, control C, control V dot get value. It will return integer value. So system dot out dot println value. Tell me these are the two lines. This is our code. Tell me which one it will print. It will print try return or finally return. This is one return is there. It is one return is there. Which one it will print? It will print 90 or 78. So if in this situation here finally it dominates try. So it will print finally block return. It will print finally block return. So right click run your Java application. See it will printing 78. That means finally is dominating try block. So that's why it is printing 78. See, so copy this code, Control C, paste here, public class, app test, public static void main, string args. Yeah. So another bracket we need to close. The finally block multi-choice question. Here, this is the try. It is a try block. It is a catch block. Both are returning some value which it will print. It will be printing 78. See, we are getting result here 78. Second question done. Third question. Can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't executed? So third question. First we can check. I'm removing this code. So I'm removing this as well. Uncomment this. Suppose I'm adding finally here. Finally block. Right. So I'm running. See, it is exception is raising. Arithmetic exception. So it will be prints value must not be null divided by 0 something. After that, it will print finally block. Let's see. Run a Java application. See here, we are getting hello. Finally, it is printing. This catch block is printing. Automatic exception catch block is printing, right? So here our question: can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't be executed? This is so final block don't be executed. So I'm saying when this exception is raised, so terminate this application or crash this application. For that I'm using system.exit. When entering into this try block, I am saying exit system.exit. In this analysis, it is the final block executing almost. Right click, run as Java application. Run as Java application. See here, hello. It is exception raised. It is printing. So you can paste here control as then try post statement. We are using system.exit 1. So after that, this 8th line exception is throwing. So our question is, can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't be executed? So right click run a Java application. So wait some time here. So add another sysau here also. B for system.exist controllers. Run a Java application. See B for system.exist. It is printing. It is printing, but remaining this catch block is not calling. It is here exception is staging. This catch block is not calling, and finally block is not calling. That means if we are using, so our question is, can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't be executed? So here answer, if we place system.exist B for raising any exception, then finally block will not executed. Finally block will not execute if we place system.exist. See here, if we are placing the same in 10th line, here we are not, it is not crossing. We need to place B for here 9th line. We are getting exception. If we are placing system.exist in 10th line, it will, so it will not terminating, it will call in the catch block. After that, it is printing. So can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't be executed? If we place system.exit before raising any exception, here it is raising on exception. If we are placing after 10th line this statement, then this statement don't be executed. It is going to catch block. So if we place system.exit before raising any exception, then finally block don't be executed. So here we are placing here system.exit before up to the 7th line. We are not, no error is raising. So it is directly terminating here itself. So it is not executing after lines of code. So this is done. Next, for try catch blocks, curly braces are mandatory or not. So here this question, for try catch blocks, curly braces are mandatory or not. Try catch, right? So I'm removing curly braces. So we are all or no. Like if inside any if condition single statement is there, then brackets are optional. I will show. See here, if 10 double equal to 1. Suppose sample return 10. Suppose not equal to 0, return 10. This condition. So if you want to add other statements here, like this, if it is true, then only execute these lines, these two lines, then we are placing in brackets, right? So if more than one statement is there, after if condition, we need to place it brackets. So see here, these are the three statements are there. Agent may be required. Here one statement only there. So here catch block, these are the optional. Let's check these optional or not. So we are removed. What is saying? See here, we are getting the error complete block. So complete block. So these are the mandatory. So here curly brackets, brackets. These are the curly brackets are mandatory for mandatory for try comma catch comma finally blocks. See here, this is the open curly bracket. This is the closed curly bracket. Inside it is curly on block. Like open curly bracket, closed curly bracket. It is a block. So fourth question done. Fifth, final versus finally versus finalize. Control C. So fifth point here. Fifth point, final versus finalize versus finally versus finalize. So final. See here, final. Final is a modifier. So post point. Suppose I'm mentioning like a final is a modifier. Final is a modifier applicable for classes, classes, methods, methods, and variables. See, final is a modifier. Final is the modifier. Final is the final is the modifier applicable for classes, methods, and variables. That's it. Final, final, public final class app test. This is method, right? Public final string. Final. Suppose it is a variable, right? Final string. See, final is a modifier applicable for classes, methods, and variables. Control Z. Next point. Next point is B. If a if a class declared if a class declared as the final child class then child class creation is not possible. See, if a class declared as the final then child class creation is not possible. Let's check. So I'm using final, right? So I want to extend another class. Suppose class A extends app test. See here, what is saying? The type A cannot subclass the final class app test. So we are getting error. Suppose if I am removing final, see no errors here. Fine, if I will remove final, no errors. Control Z, I am adding final. See now it is giving error. So this is right. So remove this code. If a class declared as final, then child class creation is not possible. Where right? Third point. See, if a method declared as the final, then overriding riding of that method is not possible. If a method declared as final, if a method declared as the final, then overriding of that method is not possible. Let's see. So I am creating one method, public final string, suppose some data return. I am giving default value now. So final, right? I'm creating another class A extends app test. So I want to override this data method. Let's see what will happen. So it is not giving any suggestion. Do one thing, copy same method, paste here, and mention override. See, it is saying cannot override the final method from app test. So it is giving error. Suppose if I will remove final here, let's see, then now no errors, right? So remove this code. Here final add this value. If a method declared as the final, then overriding of that method is not possible. So we are verified, right? So next point, if a variable declared as the final, then if a variable declared as the final, then reassignment reassignment is not possible. Is not possible. If a variable declared as the final, then reassignment is not possible, right? So reassignment is not possible. That's it. This is I'm giving final string s is equal to null. After that I'm changing to s is equal to a. See, we are getting the other saying the final local variable s cannot be assigned. It must be blank and not using a compound assignment. So it is not allowing. So if I will remove final, see, then it will be allowing. So here we have successfully understand final. Final is the modifier applicable for classes, methods, and variables. If a class declared as final, then child class creation is not possible. If a method declared as the final, then overriding of that method is not possible. If a variable declared as the final, then reassignment is not possible. So it is done. After that, finally, block. We are now blocks. We can use this is the open parenthesis, closed parenthesis, inside. Everything is got it. Block, right? So here, finally block, finally block, finally block should be executed. Finally block should be executed always, always, irrespective of, irrespective of whether exception raised or not. Exception raised or not raised. Exception raised or not raised. Here, finally block should be executed always, irrespective of whether exception raised or not raised. So I am removing this part. Here, seventh line, exception is raising. So related catch block is executing. Right? I am adding here another SYSO. I am mentioning exception. So in seventh line, exception is raised. So we are saying if exception raised or not raised, this finally block must be executed. Let's see this is true or not. Finally block should be executed always, irrespective of whether exception is raised or not raised. So if it is exception raised, if it is not exception raised, this finally block must be executed. Let's see. So here seventh line exception is raising, where we need to observe this line, eighth line is printing or not, and which catch block is executing. This final block is printing or not. So right click, run as Java application. Here, so seventh line is exception raised, eighth line is not printing, value must not null. So it is printing the arithmetic exception and it is printing the allow. So exception is raised at seventh line, remaining statements, remaining lines of code not executing, but finally block executing. So here, finally block should be executed or always, irrespective of whether exception is raised or not. So if exception is raised or not raised, but finally block should be executed. This is the meaning. So I am commenting exception raised code. That's it. Now finally block executing or not. Here exception, this line is executed and finally block executed. So if exception raised, also finally block is executing. If exception is not raised, also finally block is executing. So it is like a we can mention mandatory execution block except some special cases nothing but system.exist. If system.exist is there in try block, it is first executed before raising any exception, then this finally block will not be executed. Mandatory execution block except some special cases. We can also add if you want to do any mandatory activity like cleanup activity, then we need to place those code in this finally block. Mostly used for cleanup cleanup activities, mostly used for cleanup activities, right? So I'm removing this code. So next, Control S. This is done. So finally block is done. Next here, finalize, finalize, finalize method. It is a method, right? It is a it is a method. It is a method called by garbage, garbage, garbage collector. Just before, just before destroying an object. Just before destroying an object. Finalize method. It is a method called by garbage collector just before destroying an object. Just before destroying an object. It is a method called by garbage collector just before destroying an object. So it is done. Last question. How to use bitwise or also called vertical bar or pi. This is the symbol in each in cat blocks. Here, this is the sixth question. How to use bitwise or also called vertical bar or pi. Pipe. This is the pipe symbol in cat blocks. So let's see. So I am making these two cat blocks. Control X. I am using pi symbol. Control pi. Control V. Now I am removing this cat block. So here, if you are using pipe here, bitwise or vertical bar or pipe symbol, then declaration of variable. This is the class, this exception class. After that, reference variable, right? One is sufficient. So remove this. We need to mention only one. If you want to add another as well, add again pipe. So mention like illegal argument exception. If you want to raise illegal argument exception, you can add like this. So suppose file not found. If you want to add another, like you can mention file not found like this. Here it is saying unreachable block, never thrown, try statement. So it is saying this try block, this exception never thrown. So remove this. You can mention if you want another like, yeah, if you want to mention here array index out of bound exception like that. So it is allowing. So like that you can mention this is the pi bar vertical bar r bitwise r. So okay, what to use bitwise r also called vertical bar pipe. This is the pipe symbol in cat block. So we are successfully completed these 6 questions. Let's review once. Revision 1. What are keywords used in exception handling in core Java? Try, catch, finally, throw, throws. These two I will explain in future videos. Finally, block multiple choice questions. If try is there, catch is there, both are returning some value, which it will print. It will print the finally. Next, can you tell me one situation where the finally block don't be executed? If a place system.exist before raising any exception, then finally block will not executed. For try catch blocks, curly braces are mandatory or not. Curly braces, this is open bracket, close bracket, are mandatory for try catch finally blocks. Final vs, finally vs, finalize, final is the modifier applicable for classes, methods, and variables. If a class declared as the final, then child class creation is not possible. If a method declared as the final, then overriding of the method is not possible. If a variable declared as the final, then reassignment is not possible. Here, finally block should be executed always, irrespective of whether exception is raised or not raised. Finalize method. It is a method called by garbage collector just before destroying an object. How to use bitwise R also called a vertical bar pipe. This is the pipe symbol or vertical bar or bitwise R in catch blocks. So like this we can use. Like this we can use these three we are using. If any out of these three, if any exception is raising, so we are saying print this message. For these three exceptions, we are giving single reference variable. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel.